The following presentation presents evidence supporting conflict of interest allegation number 3 associated with aquaculture development areas in Argyll. Email evidence shows Deon's Oyster Company was included on a decision committee by the municipality of Argyll in full bias over other farmers and the public who have still not been consulted on any pre-approved ADA location. This gave Deon's an ability to influence how and what locations would be selected for their benefit. A person serving on a steering committee for procurement cannot be an applicant or bidder because of the inherent conflict of interest it creates. Steering committee members are typically involved in shaping the procurement strategy, defining the requirements, approving evaluation criteria, or providing oversight throughout the process. If such an individual were allowed to apply or bid, they would have an unfair access to insider information and the ability to influence decisions in their own favor. This violates the fundamental principles of fairness, transparency, and equal treatment that underpin ethical procurement practices. Let's take a look at the evidence. Emails show Nolan Deon and former warden Danny Muse pitching an industrial park on the sea to the province and prompting lobbying from the Aquaculture Association of Nova Scotia. Multiple emails confirm Nolan Deon and Colton Deon were included on the ADA steering committee. The public was not offered the same insider treatment and privileged access to data and information. ADA presentations suggest members of the public were included on the steering committee, yet they were not. The following email confirms site locations were indeed added for Deon's benefit. Deon's was then able to influence their desired locations with this privileged access. Staff and contractors always complied with these requests with CAO oversight, often providing home delivery of maps, data, and other privileged information not provided to other farmers. Deon's had full insight into where the ADA locations were to be placed over 2 years in advance of the public. Many farmers with competitive interests were not granted the same timely insight that Deon's were provided. This allowed Deon's to control the dissemination of information formally or informally as they desired. They were the orchestrators influencing local decisions on who would apply for specific locations and who would not. These are anti-competitive behaviors of a syndicate. Heavy redactions suggest there is something to hide. The following email shows Colton Deon asking for data and readings associated with Salt Bay. Deon's had influenced their desired location only a mere 13 weeks earlier. This proves the process was done in reverse. First, the location was selected, then water testing was performed. This is called confirmation bias, and it negates the scientific method. A series of emails demonstrates CAO Muse takes over from Charlene LeBlanc and ensures Deon's is a stakeholder, but not the public. Strangely, many recipients of these emails have been redacted and blacked out. The following email reveals 3 key aspects. 1. It confirms the Deons were on the steering committee. 2. It confirms the ADA site locations were selected by that committee. Thirdly, it discourages sharing of the ADA locations with the public. The following email example shows municipal staff and contractors did not offer the same service to other proposed applicants. Other applicants were not provided access to privileged data and information, with replies coming days later, while all email requests from the Deons were responded to within minutes. This is what the record shows. It's ongoing proof to show that the process was not fair nor transparent, and municipal staff and contractors showed bias and favoritism for the Deons to expedite their desired locations to their benefit. Allowing a steering committee member to be a bidder undermines the credibility and integrity of the procurement process. Other bidders must trust that the process is impartial and that no participant has an undue advantage. If a steering committee member is also competing, it creates a perception of bias, even if no improper action occurs. This perception alone can discourage competition, lead to disputes or legal challenges, and damage the reputation of the organization conducting the procurement. Additional briefs are to be provided regarding the 16 conflict of interest allegations with the municipality of Argyle. Thank you.